This cold open courtesy of M in the chat saying the two best college football teams in Arizona play against each other this week.
Happy game week and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show, of course, presented by Branded Bills. Make sure you head to brandedbills.com and use code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order. I'm Anthony Totri. This guy right here, that's the little bean. And of course, we got the deli man behind the Mac Bacon.
The nickname you gave me threw you off.
Happened. It did. Guys, make sure you hit that like button, you hit the subscribe button, and you drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Love seeing everybody in the chat. M, Short Bus, Sharon, Jake, David, Glenn. The list goes on and on. Unfortunately, Sharon, I can't give you in its time yet because it's not time yet. It's not time yet. But don't worry. When the moment presents itself, we will take advantage. Kind of just like Arizona State will this weekend against NAU, the number 11 team in the country. Of course, your Sun Devils, not the Lumberjacks.
What?
We'll get into everything Kenny Dillingham had to say at his first official press conference of the 2025 season. We'll take a sneak peek as to what NAU is bringing to town, offensively, defensively, the coaching staff, etc. But first and foremost, this is completely open to the chat as well. I want to get everybody's thoughts on week 0. Because we did have 3 Big 12 teams play. Of course, the biggest matchup of the day was Kansas State against Iowa State in Ireland. And that game went the way you said it would, Rubens.
Hey, man, I'm an Iowa State believer, but I don't think that was the biggest matchup of the day for the Big 12.
You don't think so?
No, I don't
you think it was
so.
Kansas, Fresno State?
No, I don't.
Wow, okay.
It was actually another...
It was Avery Johnson's father.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
the second showdown at Aer Lingus Stadium.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, come on, dude. Could you have
that's
a worse
tough
week
way to
0
start the year
for Avery Johnson? You lose. First of all, you throw your whole internal clock and schedule out the window. You're traveling to Ireland. You don't even get the win.
No.
Right? You're playing on a field that's literally sopping wet. You're mad afterwards, right? Avery Johnson.
Was your dad and your brother.
Well, I also heard Avery Johnson bet the over, and that didn't go because Iowa
good.
State, that touchdown didn't count at the end. And then you check your phone afterwards, and you're like, oh, okay, whatever.
It can't get worse.
Worse than this. Your dad is just on top of your brother, just choking him out. I mean, could there have been a worse start to the season for Avery Johnson and the Kansas State Wildcats?
I don't think there could have, honestly. That was, and I think, look, I think Sharon alludes to it. Both look beatable, right? Rocco looks good, but I think that's kind of what stood out to me watching both of these teams is, yes, Kansas State ultimately lost. Iowa State put it together in the second half, but at the end of the day, both those teams looked very beatable. I was very, very confident that if Arizona State was out on that field, that this conversation would have been around a victory for the Sun Devils. Kansas State offensively didn't look like they had it together. Obviously, you had the Dylan Edwards injury early on in the game, so hopefully he's back. You never want to see anyone get hurt, but I think that seriously hurt their offensive game plan. They were not able to get into a rhythm whatsoever. I will say it felt like they were kind of dominating the trenches in the first half of the game. Iowa State felt like they were getting bullied. But that completely flipped in the second half. Again, Kansas State couldn't really figure it out, minus Chase Brown, who might be one of the most fun wide receivers in the Big 12 this season, to be honest with you.
I got to say, hand up. Avery Johnson might just stink.
He might just stink, dude.
Because he looked like
he can't throw the ball.
Well, he looked like he was injured again still. And so it might not have been the injury.
Yeah.
He just
I
might.
mean,
that might be who he is.
He's really good at cornhole, though, so at least there's a backup plan for him.
Well, I mean, his family apparently, UFC.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's next for Avery Johnson.
In his blood. No, so I get what you're saying. They did both look beatable for sure. I thought Iowa State proved just how well coached they are coming
100%.
out in the second half, and even how some of their players were used especially that running back room with like swapping out the two-man
Carson
game there
Hansen, ladies and gentlemen.
but then using like Abu for like the entire like third quarter.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like I just continue to believe in what Matt Campbell's doing there. I don't think that they have nearly as high of a ceiling as Arizona State has, but I think they have a pretty high floor. Even missing, obviously, the two NFL wide receivers that they lost. But I also kind of agree with some people in the chat. It's like you can't take too much away from it because not only was it week 0, right, where it's like, hey, this is week 1. You're facing it's 2 top 25 opponents. You're also playing in Ireland on a terrible field. Like, I think you could take something away from it, but I don't know if I'm going to walk away and say, neither team is as good as I thought they would be.
I think this is a very, very, like, it's a unique situation for anybody who plays week 0, especially the game that does happen in Ireland. This isn't the end all be all, right, for Kansas State or Iowa State here. But I do think in terms of like, if we're talking about teams that are getting ready to compete in this conference for a championship, I think you can learn a lot. And I think Kansas State today, or not today, but this past weekend, showed that they still have a ways to go if they are going to be the top team in this conference. I don't care if it was a week 0 game. Like, you knew that this was going to be the game that you were playing, right? This is not like it snuck up on them a month beforehand and like, oh, Kansas State, you play week 0 in Ireland. Like, this falls on the coaching staff. This falls obviously on the quarterback. And at the end of the day, I think you bring up the best point about this game is that Matt Campbell and Iowa State outcoached Kansas State, and I do not think it was particularly close. Rocco Becht looked as good as advertised. He looked like a top 3, top 4 quarterback in this conference. Avery Johnson did not. The one negative that I will still hold over Cyclone fans' head here is I heard nothing but great things about Chase Sewell all offseason, about how he was supposed to be the guy to replace your 1,000-yard wide receivers. It took him, I believe, 2 quarters just to even get a target. I'm not sure what his final stat total looked like, but he wasn't a difference maker in this game. There wasn't a single Iowa State wide receiver in my mind that was a difference maker in this game. It was all Rocco Becht. It was the offensive line, and it was that coaching staff that got it done for the Cyclones.
It was also one of their tight ends. I forget the name of the guy who had that really sick catch there at the end of the game to set up what
was it, number 19? Touchdown. Was it 19 or was it the
9?
Maybe.
Brett Eskildon. I mean, that's a tight end.
That's a tight end name that plays at Iowa State.
For sure. But I mean, I thought Iowa State looked good. I felt like they looked kind of where they should be appropriately ranked. I still think that they'll have some room to grow and to get better. Kansas State too. I mean, Avery Johnson, 2 touchdowns on 21 to 30 attempts, 273 yards, 9.1 per attempt. Like, he wasn't terrible, but
it was the rhythm though. There was no rhythm or rhyme or reason to that offense.
I agree, and
I will say losing your most dynamic weapon is a huge part of
it definitely hurts. But that again kind of shows them, like, it says pretty early on that they might be a very one-dimensional team. Like, outside again of Jace Brown, that wide receiver that they had, like, there wasn't really anybody to take the pressure off of Avery Johnson, and that's partially again how this offense is run, and then it falls on the coaching staff for how you built this team. And right now, yes, I get it's week 0. It did not look good.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I think this was a great outcome for Arizona State. Nobody looked completely dominant.
No.
Right? No team looked like, oh man, there are no weaknesses, there are no holes. Plus, I think Iowa State winning is good for ASU because obviously Kansas State is already ranked a little bit higher than Iowa State in the preseason top 25. Obviously, that's likely going to change going into next week. But also, Arizona State plays Iowa State this year.
Yeah.
Right? And so this is a good early Big 12 win for Iowa State that's going to boost their resume and likely boost where Iowa State is once you get into November. And if you beat them on the road and, they have a better strength of schedule and they've gotten these wins over Kansas State or whoever else Iowa State plays in between now and they take on ASU, and then ASU beats them on the road, right? That's going to play into their favor. Plus, like, there's a good chance that we look back at these tiebreakers and everything when we go into the final couple weeks of the season and say, hey, yeah, remember when Rocco Becht and Iowa State beat Kansas State in week 0? That's going to have some sort of impact if Kansas State can still be one of the top teams of the conference, which I think they can be in like the top 4 and 5. I just think some of the people that were saying Kansas State's going to, be contending for the top spot in the conference.
Same odds to win the conference as ASU.
Right. And I never saw that. But maybe it's just the Avery Johnson thing, right? And maybe, he was nervous because the family group chat was on fire before the game and he knew something was about to go down. I don't know.
Somebody left that group chat afterwards. Somebody's not invited to Thanksgiving.
Yeah. But I think both teams still have a lot of room to get better, and I think they can get better. And even though Kansas State was out-coached, I don't think that Chris Kleiman is a bad coach.
No.
So I think that neither story is completely written for either team after week 0. But overall, as an ASU guy, I liked what I saw.
You liked the
outcome. And I liked
outcome.
the result.
Yeah. Sharon says, I'm glad that Kansas dominated Fresno State. We need more of that to make sure it's obvious that the Big 12 strength of schedule is much higher than the Group of 5 conferences. What'd you make of Kansas and Jalen Daniels doing exactly what everybody thought they should do to Fresno State?
That was such a much-needed win for Kansas.
Yeah.
Like, they really needed to start this season off on the right note. And, I mean, last year they started the season off on the right note. And I forget who they played at the start of last year. I do not believe – like, Fresno State's not –
It wasn't a good team.
No, but, like, Fresno State's a better team than who they beat. I think it was, like, Lindenwood or something.
Yeah.
Please check to see
I
if
think
I'm
it
right,
was.
because that would be a crazy
you are right.
poll.
You are right.
That would be a crazy poll.
I'm just going to tell you right now you're right.
Thank you.
I know it's
appreciate
Lindenwood.
That's all. If you think I'm right, that's all that matters to me. But I think this was a much-needed win. Sharon's saying that she's glad Kansas dominated Fresno State because she was a little bit worried about how the Big 12 is going to be viewed.
Yeah.
Right. And I get where she's coming from. I feel like even if Kansas struggled a little bit with Fresno State, I don't think Kansas football is going to be the barometer in which you measure Big 12 football from. But overall, it's a good confidence builder for them. I don't think Kansas looked perfect, but obviously good enough to blow out Fresno State. We'll see what happens to them when they start Big 12 play. I mean, that's the real test for Lance.
It 100% is. But I'm big on the great teams or the really good teams are the teams that are supposed to, or not that are supposed to, but the good teams are the ones that win the games they're supposed to win.
Yes.
Right? Sometimes it's that simple. And going into the Kansas State-Fresno State game, say what you want about Fresno State, Kansas was supposed to win that game, and they took care of business. At the end of the day, 18-20, $176, 3 touchdowns for Jalen Daniels. Like, he did everything he needed to do. The ground game looked plentiful. 207 yards on the ground for Kansas's offense. Cam Pickett was the star at wideout, 6 catches, 77 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, they did everything they needed to do.
Sure.
There were things that, like, if you really want to nitpick, that could bite them in the ass when we do get to Big 12 play, is it did feel a little sloppy at times. I believe like 9 penalties. Again, shouldn't happen at home against Fresno State. You were 2 of 10, I believe, on third down. That's something that is going to bite you in the butt when you play a good Big 12 team. So things that you can get away with early in a week 0, in a week 1, in non-comp play, but things that are really going to hurt you ultimately if they continue to show up when you get to conference play.
Yeah, and so last year was Lindenwood. They won 48-3. They were the 22nd ranked team in the country. That was August 29th. Do you know the date, the next time that they picked up a win? Kansas. They got their first win on August 29th. When did they get their second win?
It was sometime in October. Can I give you, I'm trying to think of the weekends. Give me October 18th.
It's October 19th.
Wow.
This is good. It's a good call.
Yeah.
Against Houston, right after losing to Arizona State. And then they went on a 3-game winning streak November 9th, 16th, 23rd. Shout out to them for beating
Arizona
Iowa
State
State,
stretch.
BYU, Colorado, all ranked teams at that point. But that's the thing is Kansas started off last season good against a lower tier opponent. Then they went and they lost to Illinois, who's the number 19 team in the country. Then they lost to UNLV. I think we had a couple guys in studio for Headspace at the time. We were watching that Kansas game. And then they lost to West Virginia, TCU, Arizona State. Didn't get a win again until they played Houston on October 19th. Right. So Kansas, they have a lot to prove.
Yeah.
Right. But let's just say hypothetically, Kansas cleans up some of the stuff that they did. They enter conference play undefeated 3-0. I don't know who their next 2 games are against. But if Kansas is a good team this year, that is going to be pretty beneficial for the Big 12 and getting another team that competes at the top half of the conference and somebody who's not on Arizona State's schedule this year.
Yeah, I mean, your first real look at Kansas isn't going to be until week 3. They're on the road at Missouri. That's going to be a tough game. Before that, they've got another cakewalk at home against Wagner. So
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, I guess. But that Missouri game is going to be the real test for Kansas. And I mean, you got to figure, like, if they win that game, Then you look at their schedule. It's pretty much a cakewalk until you get to about the midway point of the season. Like, you beat Missouri, then you're probably going to beat West Virginia, maybe Cincinnati at home. We're talking about potentially a 5-0 ranked Kansas team before they're at UCF. That should be a win.
Yeah.
We're talking 6-0, and then you got a stretch. Then you got Texas Tech,
Cincinnati's
Kansas State.
an interesting team.
They're an interesting
I'll be
team.
interested to see how Cincinnati starts the year. Do you know?
Don't bring any Brendan Sorsby disrespect.
I think
Ralph's going to appear from behind that jersey.
I think Kansas and Cincinnati are going to be a comparable teams this year. Like, I don't think either one of those teams is going to be like otherworldly. But I do think they can be competitive against maybe some of the upper echelon teams in this conference.
Cincinnati's like wheat bread.
Who's the better quarterback?
I like wheat bread though.
Sorsby or Daniels?
Who's a better quarterback?
Yeah.
I got to see Sorsby play first.
Well, you got to see Jalen Daniels play for a season.
Yeah.
I would go with Sorsby.
You're going with Sorsby
Ripped
here?
Brendan Sorsby? I mean, come on.
Yeah, he is juiced.
Who are you going with?
Both of them are such unknowns. I don't think it's fair to call it either way.
Yeah, it's tough to give one. I'm not going to give an answer. I'm going to let Ruby dig himself a hole here.
No, there's no
a little
hole.
bit.
By the way, do you know the Wagner mascot?
Wolf?
No.
The Wagner Wolves?
I mean, that would have been good.
Yeah.
Not what you would
The
expect.
Weasels?
No.
Does it start with a W?
It's not an alliteration.
Oh, then I don't care.
It's the Wagner Seahawks.
Wow. I feel like you should have known that. No? He's a Seahawk fan.
He's a Wagner fan.
Look, enough about Wagner in week 0. We will get to Arizona State versus NAU. We're going to get to what Kenny Dillingham had to say at his opening press conference. Again, it's game week for the Sun Devils. Make sure you hit that like button, you hit the subscribe button, you drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Yes, we will get into some of that injury news as well. But before we do that, we are going to take our first break of game week. And of course, our first ad is our presenting sponsor for today's show. That is, of course, Branded Bills. If you guys are looking for some gear to make your personal brand stand apart from the crowd, well, look no further than Branded Bills. They've got you covered with the best custom headwear. Start your order, and their dedicated team will help you create the exact custom apparel you need. Doesn't matter if you need snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, or tees. They've got you covered with everything under the sun. They have the best quality hats when it comes to performance, style, and for me, they've got breathable hats, which is so important here in the Valley when it's 100+ degrees. I believe it's going to be 100+ degrees at kickoff for Arizona State this Saturday. So get your Branded Bills hat. You'll be able to breathe a little bit, or at least your cranium will be able to. They've got, of course, partnerships with 40 universities, including ASU, U of A, also a part of their campus collection. Head to brandedbills.com and use code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order.
You were spitting in that ad read. It's facts, truths, no cap. And that's exactly what you meant when you said it was 100 degrees at kickoff. It's going to be hot, man. APS knows it's hot, and APS knows that it costs a lot of money to cool your home. In fact, nearly half of your energy costs come from cooling and heating your home, and a smart thermostat can help you manage those energy bills to adjust your thermostat during off-peak, lower-cost hours, and making sure that even when you're away from home, you can jump on your phone, you can jump on your computer, on your device, and you could lower your thermostat or raise your thermostat. Let's say you raise it during the day, but you want it to be cool when you go home. You could do that with an APS smart thermostat. And right now, APS customers may be eligible for smart thermostats for as low as $0 when you enroll in the APS Cool Rewards program. And if you already have a smart thermostat at home, like we do, see if it's eligible to enroll in Cool Rewards, plus free installs available at the link in our video description. You must be an APS customer, pay shipping and taxes. Other restrictions apply. Go to marketplace.aps.com for more information.
Also, want to tell you guys about a great diehard deal we have going on, a Cardinals kickoff sale. Cardinals season is here, and so is our best diehard deal of the year. You guys can join today for just $36 for the entire year. Rubus, I mean, this comes out to about a cup of coffee, like, per month.
Yeah, I mean, Sharon's probably going to buy like 5 of these for somebody. Can we commandeer something though, like how I claimed the 1915 national championship for PHNX Sun Devils? We're going to call this the Sun Devil sale because it's game week. You know, the Cardinals are back and we love the Cardinals. Bonnie and Joe are
they're
great.
not really back until
right. And so that's why. And so we're gonna commandeer.
Yeah,
this is our
the Sun Devil sale.
Now this is the Sun Devil sale, baby. We do have some really cool Cardinals shirts that you can get as well. But becoming a diehard for ASU reasons is perfect right now. I cannot wait for for the first game day in the Die Hard Discord. We're going to be bringing you behind the scenes, live coverage from the game while we're there. We'll tell you how hot it is, send you pictures of everybody warming up. We'll be talking to you during the game. And then, of course, when it's time to really, really break things down, we'll be here for the post game. But the Discord doesn't stop there. It's going to be such a fun time. Plus, you get a free Hatter shirt when you sign up as well, a discount to all of our live events. I know we're going to be getting some ASU live events in the works coming up here this season. It's going to be so much fun. There's no better time to be a diehard for ASU fans. And there's no better place to be an ASU fan than right here. So we're commandeering this. This is the Arizona State Game Week kickoff $36 diehard sale.
Boom.
Take that,
Way
Bonnie
to
and Joe.
Bonnie and Joe, man.
Take that.
That'd be a hell of a rock band, like duo.
Bonnie and Joe.
Yeah. They tour the world.
They open for Aerosmith.
Yeah, they do. Eventually overtake them.
Catch Bonnie and Joe opening for Aerosmith at PHX Arena.
Dear Lord. We have an arena now?
Well, no, it's PHX Arena's what used to be Footprint Center.
Okay. There you go. Look, some things that I don't like. The injury news for Arizona State. I guess in the grand scheme of things, it could be a lot worse, but Kenny Dillingham did update the media today on some injuries ahead of that NAU game, saying AJ Ia got, quote, dinged up.
My go.
Man Robinson, the freshman running back, also got dinged up. It does sound like Demarius Robinson will be available. Maybe as early as Tuesday to return to practice. So we'll see what that means for his availability on Saturday. AJ Ia, not really a further update on that. We'll definitely know a little bit more with ASU practicing on Tuesday. Also, the Oregon transfer defensive lineman Michael Gardner did tear his Achilles. Not official word on what that means for a season, but 9 times out of 10, a torn Achilles means you are out for the season. Really sucks considering he tore his Achilles while rehabbing from a different injury. So that's a bummer. He's somebody that has missed a lot of time since he arrived on campus. I would say maybe about 2.5, 3 full weeks of like legit practice. This goes back to spring football. Somebody who has been dealing with injuries and recovering from them for some time. So that definitely stings. But like Kenny said today, everything happens for a reason. Maybe this means Gardner is, someone to look forward to in 2026.
Sure. I mean, it sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks. Unfortunately, like that's a part of football, is that there are just going to be guys that get injured. There's going to be stuff that happens. Obviously, no update on Ia's playing status for Saturday. But, I mean, you're not talking about starters.
Yeah.
These aren't starters, right?
Which is huge.
These are your 3-4 deep, like you're going to be getting past.
We're talking about freshmen.
Yeah, freshmen, guys that most likely, like this week would be big for them to play, right? Like an AJ Ia, out of all the weeks, like this is probably the week that you're most guaranteed to play, right? So that would suck if he can't go. But at the end of the day, like not that it doesn't matter because it definitely sucks, but we're not talking about any of your 2 deep on this list.
No,
probably not even any of your 3
right now. Not on his stands right now, which I think is really, really big. Again, when we're talking about a team like NAU, that is a little bit different than some of the lower level FCS teams that you'll see. NAU is a kind of a different breed, which is why the matchup against ASU to start the year it should be pretty intriguing as we build up to Saturday's game. Do we want to get into Kenny Dillingham sound, or do we want to talk NAU first?
Let's talk NAU.
Let's talk NAU first.
We'll have the Kenny stuff in about 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes. Okay. Then, let's chat NAU for a little bit. For those of you that don't know, aren't too familiar with NAU, they are coming off a really good season. 8-5 last year, first winning season in a non-COVID year since 2017. They were ranked in the FCS coaches poll in the top 25 at the end of the year, also ranked now in the same poll in the preseason. But if you're looking toward one guy at NAU, it is, of course, their quarterback, Ty Pennington, who did win Big Sky Newcomer of the Year. He's been with Brian Wright now, the head coach for NAU for some time, so he's very familiar with this system. This is somebody that I think, Erik, could be a fun early matchup for this ASU defense.
And hearing Kenny talk about it in his presser, and we'll get to that here in a second, It's so funny because I kept on saying this all last year, and it just like kind of flashed back to me. I was like, "Oh, the perfect week 1 opponent.
Yeah.
Oh, the perfect
Yeah.
week 2 opponent.
You
oh,
were
the
on
perfect week
that.
3 opponent." It kind of played out right. This is something where Arizona State realistically should beat this team by 30 to 40 points.
Yes.
Like realistically speaking, it doesn't matter if you are ranked in the FCS top 20, 25.
You're the number 11 team in the country.
Right. You're not just a good Big 12 team. You are supposed to be the best Big 12 team. You are supposed to be a college football playoff team competing with the likes of an Ohio State, a Texas, a Penn State, an Oregon, right? Like that's supposed to be you. So 8-5 season for the Lumberjacks is impressive, especially for where that program it has been the last couple of years. They have some good talent. I think football in general, sports in general, it's more filled with athletes than ever. So the average athlete on NAU is 10 times better than they were a decade ago, 2 decades ago, right? All of that being said, ASU has to take them seriously for sure, because how many times do we see like, oh, week 1, this team shocked, right?
Yeah.
Even like it was Abilene Christian.
Like, screw that. You saw a top 10 team in the country go down week 0 last year.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech beat Florida State.
And
right?
but obviously at the end of that, it was Georgia Tech actually ended up being a much better team than Florida State.
They did, but you never know. NAU could churn out the best season they'd ever had. Not saying that they're going to be a real top 25.
I think it's a little different now, but basically the moral of the story is I don't believe that this team sleeps on anybody, and especially like week 1 where you haven't played football since January and you have that sour taste left in your mouth from the Peach Bowl. I'm not worried about them sleeping on NAU, but it's nice that they're not playing like a Wagner. Yeah. Right. Or a team that's like, okay, you are barely even a football program.
Yeah.
Right. I would say like the Lumberjacks have been impressive for who they are and where they are and the competition that they play. They've been impressive. So going into this game, you can preach preparedness. You can preach, understanding that like, hey, you guys were slept on. You guys weren't believed in. Some of you transferred in from smaller schools. Like, this is the team that you have to take seriously. And then once we're up by 30, 40, 50, then we can take our foot off the gas a little bit.
I don't even see that happening. I don't see this coaching staff wanting to take their foot off the gas by any means. This is going to be a statement game. When you are the number 11 team in the country and you do have kind of what Dilly said today, like the expectation that the environment is going to be electric, right? You're going to have hopefully 35, 40,000 strong. You're going to have hopefully a personal student attendance record. You're going to have 14,000. You're going to have recruits out there, right? This needs to be a statement game. This can't be the score of the Fresno State-Kansas game. I'm sorry. It can't be. You can't win 31-7. That's a disappointment. When you are the number 11 team in the country with the best wide receiver in this conference, with potentially the best quarterback in the conference, with potentially the best defense in the conference, coming off a CFP appearance, and you are the reigning Big 12 champions, you need to take NAU's want to play football away. We have to get to the fourth quarter, and the Lumberjacks have to be tired of playing football. That's what it has to be if you are going to be a quote-unquote perennial powerhouse. It starts on Saturday. This team needs to know where you are, and this is not just a statement for the fan base. This is a statement to the rest of the conference. Hey, this team that we're playing, we don't care if they are an FCS team. We don't care if they're an FBS team. We don't care if they're a UFL team. We are going to beat their ass for 4 quarters up and down the field. That's how it has to be. You can't take your foot off the gas at any point. Your backups need to absolutely run over NAU. They have to. That's the only acceptable way this game kind of comes out for the Sun Devils. This is a team in NAU that shouldn't beat you. They want to beat you all week long. You're going to hear from Brian Wright and the players on the Lumberjacks that we expect to win, that we want to win, that we're going down the mountain to beat a top 15 team in the country. And that's all well and fine for the next 5 days. But when it is 7 p.m. on Saturday, August 30th, and that bus is stomped for 60 minutes, it needs to be legal but nasty, Rubus.
I was wondering when that was gonna pop up.
What did Brian Dawkins say? I want to take his soul and see how bad he wants to play.
Yeah, that's what they need to do. That's
For
legitimately
sure.
what they need to do.
Absolutely. I mean, this is not just like a statement game. Like, this is necessary. Every single game, like, just winning doesn't matter at this point, right? Every single game, especially in non-con against these three teams that you should be significantly better than, you need to snatch their chain. Like, you need to blow them out to the point where it's like nobody's talking about, oh, well, they played NAU and Texas State and the worst team in the SEC. It's just like, no, they did what great teams do. Yeah. Screw what good teams do. They do what great teams do, which is dominate in and out every single possession, no matter who is there, no matter if your backups are playing, even if they take them out at halftime, doesn't matter. You need to blow them out. But that doesn't mean that NAU can't be dangerous. I mean, I'm not even just bringing this up because it's U of A, but last year NAU almost beats U of A after their season. And that was kind of that first moment. Obviously, the New Mexico game, they won by 30. There were points in that game where you're like, oh, okay, that doesn't look that great. But they won by 30. They put up like 66 points, right? It was the NAU game where they were even down at a certain point later in the game, close to halftime. And that was the first moment of the season that I think U of A fans and even us as people who are watching sport are like, okay, this team maybe is not as good as they've been claiming that they're going to be. This isn't going to be the determinant of ASU season, but if they don't do what we're saying they're supposed to do, you better well believe that that's going to be the storyline coming out of week one, is Arizona State disappoints after Cinderella season with no Cam Scadaboo. Like, that's the headline if they beat NAU by 30.
It's a damn important game. I don't care what anybody says that it's NAU or it's week one and it's not conference play, whatever. Like, you do need to set a tone, right? Like, that's what great teams do. And that's why Arizona State was able to get off to such a hot start last year, is because they came out of the gates and they beat Wyoming. Yeah. They didn't just beat them. They tore them up and sent them back to one of the worst states in the country. That's what they did. That's what you have to do to NAU. You have to make it so that when they're traveling back up that mountain, it is a silent bus ride home. That's like as simple as you can put it, and I think this team can do it. But to say that NAU is dangerous, I think that's true. I don't think NAU I don't think that they are going to beat ASU by any stretch of the imagination. Like, if you had to give it a percentage, I would say that it is less than a 0.01% chance that NAU beats Arizona State. With that said, when I say that NAU is a good test, they do things schematically, offensively, and defensively that are going to be a good working challenge, especially what they do on the defensive side of the ball. I think defensively, it's going to be more of a challenge for ASU than it will be vice versa with Ty Pennington and NAU's offense against ASU's defense. I don't see that being much of a matchup, to be honest with you. But this offense in Arizona State, I think for Sam Leavitt, this offensive line specifically with Ben Coleman and how you're shaking up the offensive line, some of these new wide receivers, some of the new tight ends, like, the communication is going to be really, really important, considering this is an NAU defense that will throw everything at you. 3-man fronts, 4-man fronts, 5-man fronts. We will send the house on 2nd and 10. Like, it is going to be, we're going to get a look as, okay, Sam Leavitt, year 2 in the system. We talked all offseason about how important that is, about the communication, about having JT back, about having Ben Coleman. Boom, let's see it. Let's see you command this offense against a defense that likes to create confusion, right? Like, that's going to be the biggest thing to look for me.
Kenny touched on that, and we have that clip if we want to.
Yeah, let's kick to it.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Wright, being an offensive guy, he knows what give offenses problems. And they do a lot of things that give offenses problems. And I think that's just a testament to him having a say on multiple sides of the ball and him being able to, allow his defensive coordinator to play blitz cover 0 on 2nd and 10. And being able, most head coaches, they play the game a little bit more scared. You don't want to play blitz 0 on 2nd and 10 because you're scared of what can happen. You look at, they had one of the most successful seasons in the last, 10, 15 years there. They're a top 25 team. They were a playoff team because they don't play scared. I think it's a testament to their head coach. And both sides of the ball create a lot of pre-snap confusion. They do a really good job making you communicate and hopefully slow, and hopefully not for us, but their goal is to slow opponents down by forcing them to communicate constantly. Double backs on offense, reverses, FIB formations back to regular, unbalanced defensively. They're in bear. They're an odd stack, odd broken stack, 4 down. It's like, how many times can they make you communicate? And I think that's a philosophy that they use on all three phases, and it was very successful for them last year. And going into a week one, those are the teams you don't want to face because it's communication. And you're in week one, you want to face the team that's like 4 down quarters and like you know they're going to be, not the team that like you have to over communicate. So kudos to them. They've done an unbelievable job there.
Okay. I say this as respectfully as possible. One of my favorite things in sports is when when you talk to coaches or you hear from coaches of a team that's like supposed to win by like 40.
Yeah.
And they're giving respect to the other team. And I'm not saying that they're lying, right? Because everything you said about NAU is true, but it's like you guys should win by 30 or 40. So it's a team that you don't want to play and that they communicate and all of that. And I get it. I'm not saying that he's lying, but I just love how coaches talk when they're put in that situation where it's like, yeah, I can't really talk about how talented the roster is or about how, like they're a great test for us or that we're going to prove something or whatever it is. It's like at the end of the week, it's NAU. But I really like the communication part of what he said and the fact that it's like this is going to force them to over communicate.
It is. And I think defensively, it's going to be a lot easier for these guys to get in sync and in a rhythm early on in this game. That's why I don't see NAU really giving this defense too many challenges, especially if you look at some of the personnel outside of Ty Pennington. Like they have realistically one wide receiver that is like worth noting in Jason Raines. He's a grad transfer who transferred to NAU from Stanford, 6'4", about 220, big body, wide out. Like he is realistically the weapon for Ty Pennington in this offense. Pennington is a dual threat guy, so there is
great quarterback name.
There is a great quarterback name. I don't know if there's any relation to Chad Pennington, but he is somebody that certainly has a little bit of a dual threat ability. So like that's realistically all they have to this offense. Like they'll spread you out. They've got a power running back that they'll use in Seth Cromwell. But ultimately, this defense should be suffocating from start to finish. It is, like we said, more of the not a challenge, but it is going to be more eyes on this offense to be like, okay, Sam, let's see how you can kind of adjust, right? Because that's the big thing for me is like, is this a cakewalk game? Absolutely. Should you win by 40? Absolutely. Okay, then I need to see everything perfect. It needs to look like a practice out there. Like you need to be able to go up to the line of scrimmage, change the play, get in the right protection, go through your reads, find the right man, no turnovers, just touchdowns. Like it needs to be the point where Jesus Gomez is like he's stiff on the sideline because he hasn't been able to kick yet. Like that's what it needs to be.
No, I agree.
He's kicking extra points.
Let's just go for 2.
Yeah, go for 2 every time.
You know how I'd feel about that.
Yeah.
Kind of last thing that you mentioned with that, like the reading different coverages is something Sam has specifically mentioned as a part of his game that he's grown, especially over this offseason and everything. And so I really hope that NAU, like I hope NAU tests them every single like possession, but it still ends up in a touchdown.
Yeah.
Right. Like that would be the perfect balance. And then obviously, like Short Bus said, getting out of this game healthy
that's the most important.
That's 10 times more important than beating them by 40. Like is if you beat them by 40, but you walk away with some sort of major injury.
Don't even say a name.
That's worst case scenario, right? Yeah. I'd rather you win by 7 and walk away healthy. As bad as that might be optics wise, like there are checks and balances to this thing.
It's really simple. You win by 40, and you're going to be a top 10 team going into week 2. It's that simple. Like you take care of business. Everything is going to kind of fall in place over the weekend for week 1 with all those top 10 matchups. And you are going to wake up on Sunday a top 10 team in college football. It's that easy. All you got to do, take care of business at home, which is something that Arizona State was able to do a hell of a lot of in 2024. We've got more sound from Kenny Dillingham on that upcoming NAU game. Again, make sure you hit that like button, you hit the subscribe button. Also, drop in the chat, which Arizona State newcomer are you most excited to see on Saturday in week 1? We'll get to your answers. We'll get back to Kenny D on the other side of this quick break. 5 days away till the Lumberjacks hit the Devil's Den over in Tempe. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're going to need some tickets to Mountain America Stadium for Arizona State's Week 1 matchup against NAU. So where are you getting your tickets? Well, of course, there's only one right answer. That is Game Time. I know everybody in this room has used Game Time. Personally, I've used it for sporting events. I've used it for comedy shows. I've used it for concerts. And I know, Rubus, you and I have maybe one thing in common. We're both procrastinators.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
That's the only thing we have in common. But that's perfect with Game Time because it almost feels like the deals get better the longer you wait. Not to mention, you can go to the Game Time app and you can actually get a view of what your seats are going to look like. It is a perfect experience over on Game Time. Make sure you take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
We have another thing in common.
We do.
Two things in common.
Okay, two
we
things.
We love Gila River Resorts and Casinos.
That is
and
true.
Specifically Wild Horse Pass, because we do all of our events there, but also because they have an incredible state-of-the-art gaming floor, upscale and approachable dining, chill out by the poolside, great rooms to be in as well. And this Thursday, it's the PHNX Cardinals residency, and we'll all be there. You should be there too for a PHNX Cardinals live show at 4:30, and then a PHNX Cardinals season preview just for the people there. It's not live streamed or anything.
Just for the peeps.
At 6, and then at 7, it's the PHNX Fantasy Football Draft. We're all going to be there. It's going to be a great time, all at Gila. And if you want a discounted room, call and use code CARDSFF for 25% off a room on Thursday night. Diehards get a drink ticket, get your first drink free, but also you can go to just Gila and have a great time, whether it's Wild Horse Pass or Lone Butte or Vequiva or Santan Mountain. It's an amazing experience every time. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details.
Short Bus bringing up the one thing that we shouldn't be discussing, and that's the potential on a monsoon.
I looked.
It's not supposed to rain.
You should be good.
Be good.
When 2 years ago, when you played St. Joe's, who did you play? Southern Utah.
Yeah, Southern Utah, the dust storm game.
Yeah.
God, that was
That was in the forecast.
That was a maroon monsoon.
And that was the worst night of my life, I think.
I'm up there with you.
That night was so bad that I had to go live on a bus for 6 months to get over it.
Yeah, that was tough.
That night was so bad I had to change jobs and come over here.
Coach, remember when you were like, they're not going to lose? And I'm like, they're going to lose.
They weren't going to lose. They were never going to lose that game.
Dude.
They ended up winning by what, 20 points?
But it was, they were.
I think it was 37-15 was the final score. Let's see if I can pull that one out of my ass.
No.
No?
It was 24-21 ASU.
Oh, wow. It was a close game.
Yeah,
so ASU was up 21-7 at the half when the boom happened.
In the second half.
And then they scored 3 points in the second half to Southern Utah's 14. So Southern Utah came out in the second half on fire, as Southern Utah does. God, I hate that game. I was producing the radio broadcasts for ASU. They do.
You were right. You were right.
They did like 6-hour pregame shows and like 4-hour postgame shows, and then that game was delayed. I was there for over 12 hours. It was just
that's gross. That is really
gross.
Really gross. Well, hopefully no monsoon. Okay, and hopefully a packed house for Arizona State against NAU. Something that Dilly did make a big point of discussion today in his press conference was that home field advantage for the Sun Devils. We know ASU was undefeated last year at home for the first time in over a decade. The Sun Devils, of course, trying to do the same this year, but of course it starts week 1 against the Lumberjacks. This is what Kenny Dillingham had to say on just having a home field advantage for week 1.
Yeah, I hope it's like last year. I hope there's a true advantage. I hope our guys run out of the tunnel and they're like, holy cow, there's 14,000 students like that you're staring at as you run out on the field after the fireworks. And then you look to the left and your right, and the crowd's packed. And I think that's the environment that's going to happen, based off ticket sales and the renewals and all that stuff. I really believe the environment on Saturdays are going to be unbelievable. I expect an unbelievable crowd. I mean, I think, Doug gives me good information. So he was like, I think there's like 40,000 tickets, I believe, sold, not including student tickets, where we're expecting, 14,000, hopefully, students. So, I mean, we feel like there's going to be an unbelievable crowd there to kick it off. And it's not going to be 120 So that's a plus that it actually may kick off under 100, which is nice.
I mean, the most important part there is Doug does give good information.
The most trustworthy man in
Dillingham.
America.
I mean, people are
is
saying
Doug Tamaro.
But look, if that is the case, if we are going to have that many folks at Mountain America Stadium, if the student attendance is going to be looking like that, then I mean that place is going to be rocking when the number 11 team is kicking off, and that for me is like the thing here, is because I feel like there's so many fans that are like, I'm not gonna go watch Arizona State beat up on NAU. Well, don't look at it like that. How often do you have the number 11 team in the country at home? How often do you have that? And to get to be a part of it. Like, go to the game if you haven't bought tickets, just because you get to see what a college football playoff team looks like. You've never really seen that if you're an Arizona State fan, minus last year. All you've known is pain and suffering, right? Go enjoy it. Go enjoy
the sparkles and rainbows.
Yeah, enjoy it. Like, come on, go look what you're gonna get a view of what a unicorn looks like, and it's Kenny Dillingham. He's your unicorn. Go watch him. Okay,
He's beautiful.
He's it's a
Skin was glowing in the press
They
conference.
exist. Okay, unicorns exist, and their name is just Kenny Dillingham. Okay.
A unicorn named Kenny. I have another challenge though, because
challenge.
Here's the thing. I think we
Quit challenging.
I think we at Arizona State, and I think in general, it's like getting to the game. Okay, yeah, that's definitely an important part, right? Stay at the game.
Yeah.
Like, don't leave.
That touchdown to put ASU up by 40 is more fun than the touchdown to put ASU up by 14.
Just have fun. You're gonna watch some of these second string guys, third string guy. Like, you're gonna have fun. Like, this is like, stay, right? It's not just about showing up and leaving at halftime to go drink on Mill. Mill's gonna be there. They got road games. Like, it's gonna be there. Stay.
Yeah.
Cheer on this team, because at the end of the day, it's awesome if you can have a good start of the game. But I think what made the BYU game special, obviously, like the gameplay itself, was that like the crowd was there the entire time. They were locked in the entire time. And as cool as it is that Arizona State was giving out free food to make sure students stayed at the end of the year, that should just be a bonus. That shouldn't be what keeps them there, right?
Yeah.
You need to stay. And like you said, watch the number 11 ranked team in the country run rampant over a lower ranked opponent.
Cost us fun at 8. It's even more fun at 11.
It is. That is very true. After a win.
Save yourself some money.
Yeah.
Like, stay at the game.
I mean, honestly, don't. They got some new food over at Mount America
Fair
Stadium
enough.
that looks like
Yeah.
that looks pretty fire.
Yeah, I
not
know.
gonna
I'm bummed
lie.
we weren't able to go to that.
I know.
Stupid show.
Stupid
God.
podcast. M saying go
Stupid
watch
podcast.
Relique return the first kickoff of the season to the house. Yeah, I mean, we called it. We called it a couple weeks ago. That's gonna happen. Do we want to throw anything out into the ether that if that happens, something has to happen here?
Yeah.
We
Let's do
agree. Okay, what do we
Totri
think?
hair.
What do we think in
Totri
chat?
hair.
What do we think in chat?
Totri hair. Totri hair.
Why? No, I just grew it back. It just came back from the Bobby bet, man.
Yeah, but you wanted to shave your head.
You did,
But it doesn't matter. It just came
Yeah,
back.
no, you're
Anything else with the
I don't
hair?
want you. I don't want you. to
Totri
shave
eyebrow slit.
Totri.
Totri.
We're
eyebrow
not
slit.
doing an eyebrow slit, bro. We're not.
Eric Ruby
I'll
eyebrow
do
slit.
an eyebrow slit if you do one.
No,
if
I'm not
Relique
doing
returns the opening
There
kickoff,
we go. There it is.
I'll do
Okay, I'm
one.
not
I'll
doing
do one. I'm absolutely not, Sharon.
24-hour stream. 24-hour stream for Relique Brown. Kickoff return against NAU.
if he returns the opening kickoff for the season, yes, I will get an
Chat.
eyebrow slit.
Spam eyebrow slit in the chat.
Come on, dude.
Eyebrow slit.
I'm
I don't know if mine's
Here.
going
Eyebrow
back, man.
slit.
It's an eyebrow.
slit.
It'll grow back.
Glenn, you're going to get banned if you mention Eric Speedo again.
Nobody ever found proof. Everybody was
Come
talking
on,
about,
man.
oh, Eric, you
Come
said
on,
it.
don't
Nobody ever
dodge
found
here.
proof.
Don't dodge. It's an eyebrow slit. It's not like I'm asking.
Shane's got to do it too.
Okay,
All
yeah,
three
Shane
of
has
us.
to do
Yeah,
it too.
of course
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
do that.
Okay,
Okay.
if Relique
I
Brown,
dyed my hair blonde.
he did.
fair.
If
For
Relique
a
Brown,
year.
if Relique Brown
Okay.
returns the opening kickoff on
Is
Saturday,
it just Relique or is it anybody?
Anybody.
It's any okay. If
Anybody.
anybody returns the opening
Why did
kickoff,
I ask?
then we will absolutely not short bus. Then we will all get an eyebrow slit. The following week, I guess.
Lee Court
I
says
guess.
stay and Eric will buy you a beer. I ain't got
See,
the money for that.
I don't care what's going on right here.
I've got to go teach with an
Yeah,
eyebrow
no,
slit.
For sure. And
That's crazy.
I get that. I got nothing to lose.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for this.
yeah. I think you should have to get a mustache slit.
Get Relique's face tatted on your leg. No.
Yeah, that one's not happening either. Look,
Eyebrow slit.
when we'll do it. We'll do
We're
it.
doing it. That's fine.
When I say and when Eric says like go watch the number 11 team in the country, right? I think part of this goes back to what Dilly has talked about in the past about the whole 50 years of just like bad juju around the program, about like the history that when Arizona State is ranked to start the season, or even really when they're just ranked, like stuff goes sideways more often than not. And Kenny was asked at his press conference today about how Sam Leavitt kind of changes that going into the first game of the year, ranked number 11 in the country. And Dilly gave a really unique answer.
Yeah, I mean, Sam's, like I said, an ultimate competitor. His dreams are huge. And I think our football team as a whole, like the few times that I mention those things are really in combat. You know, when I take the media head on, when I see things go out and floated out about those comments in the media, well, I want to approach it with my team. I don't want our team. I don't want our team to read things and not talk about them. I want to attack them. So we 99% of the time we focus on today and being the best version of us today. And every once in a while, there's things that pop up that I just want to put to bed for our players, like that, like 50 years, Big 12 back to back. All these funky stats that they hear, well, yeah, here it is. Now, who cares? You know how to solve it? Go to work today and repeat. And, our team meeting today, the message was, how hard is it to attack 12 Mondays? Like, oh my God, like how that's difficult. Great teams cannot attack today with everything they got and then wake up and do it again, and wake up and do it again consistently for 4 months. It's so difficult, and that's what separates teams. Some teams are wired to do it, and it doesn't matter anything other than being your best. And I think that is the constant challenge here: is this our best Monday that we've ever had in program history? Can we say we were more focused today? And if we can do that, we can have a Tuesday, right? Then who knows where it's going to end up? It's all about today.
Rubus, are we having the best Monday in program history right now?
I think so.
I don't think we are. I think we can be better. I think we as a collective can be
That's
better.
what I was saying, yeah.
But I think that was a – what's the best way to put it? Like, you started off the show, and we were coming out of Kenny talking about the NAU, like just the team, right? Like, I can't look past them, whatever. And how you get coach speak so often. And it's just like we're dancing around like the obvious because you don't really want to say that you're going to beat NAU into the dirt, right? But when you hear Kenny like talk like this about this type of stuff, where he goes through like the 50-year history of ASU disappointing when they're ranked or when they open the year, whatever. And he's like, it really does come down to, can we just have 12 kick-ass Mondays in a row? And can each and every one be better than the last? Like, I'm sitting there listening to this guy. I'm like, dude, like, I'm ready to go. Like, let's have a Monday. I've got a ton of stuff I got to do. You make me want to go through my Monday. So I can only imagine.
Coach is going to scare the hell out of his class.
It's a good thing I don't have a Monday class because we would be going to work today. But like, it makes me try and step into the shoes of some of these like assistant coaches or of some of these players.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you have no idea yet, or maybe you do if you're a veteran player, of like the type of head coach that you have running this joint. Because there has never been a coach that talks the way that Dilly does. And again, this is like the number 11 team in the country. How many top 10 teams like even allow as much media access as Dilly does, right? It's all about like, we are almost the conduit from the program to the actual like city of like, hey, you want to come watch the number 11 team in the country? Boom. Like the media are talking to Sam, Jordan, Hines Ward, Marcus Arroyo, everybody. Like, I don't know if I've ever said this, but I'm so proud to be used by Kenny Dillingham like on a daily basis.
I'm a proud puppet.
Totri's the most proud mouthpiece of all time.
I am.
Well, I mean, it's nice that they send us these talking points before every show
absolutely.
of like what we're supposed to say.
Yeah, and Kenny's like in the background watching us live, and he'll call me if anything goes.
Yeah. He actually sends 3 different headline options.
Don't say that you're the puppet of the.
Was that to me or you, though?
He texted me to tell you, but
well, here we are.
Please. He also said both eyebrows. Oh, shoot. That's about the slit.
We'll talk later.
Kenny, you got to do it, too.
We'll talk later, Kenny.
Kenny, you got to
cut
a slit in your eyebrow.
If Kenny Dillingham comments in the chat right now, then yeah. If he comments in the chat right now, I'll shave an eyebrow if Raleek returns the opening kickoff.
No. If he comments right now, you'll shave an eyebrow. Period.
He's got 5 minutes. If he comments, then I'll do the eyebrow slit. That fair?
I'm literally going to tweet right now.
He's not coming. He's probably in a meeting or something. In the meantime, let's get to a super chat from Michael Ramirez, 1999. I appreciate you, Michael, saying, was anybody else surprised by the performance of some ex-Sun Devils over the weekend? Alt McCaskill, Thunderbird, O'Meary, and Welch all flashed. Our 1s and 2s must be legit. Good players running to other teams for playing time. Yeah, bring up some really great points. There were a lot of former Sun Devils on UNLV. Now, UNLV was supposed to win that game by a lot more than they did. I think the spread was like 30.5 points. They didn't win by that much, but you're right. There were some Arizona State Sun Devils who did show up and show out in that week 1 game. Alt McCaskill had himself, I believe, just 1 touchdown. I want to say Terrence Welch had, was it more than 1 interception in that game against Idaho State? Do you know off the top of your head?
No.
I'm tweeting Kenny Dillingham right now.
That's fine. He's got till 2:03 to get in here, so we'll see if that happens. I do think. Let's see. Terrence Welch, where are you, buddy? I don't see. Oh yeah, he had 2 interceptions in that game. Former Sun Devil Troy O'Meary, I believe, had a touchdown.
Just stealing.
Oh no, he just had 3 catches, 24 yards. And then Alton McCaskill a little bit later on. Not in this game, but with Sam Houston, had a touchdown as well.
Terrence Welch just stealing balls.
Just taking them. Just robbing quarterbacks. Oh, man. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Look, a big part of Arizona State being improved in 2025 is going to be special teams, right? We joke about who's returning the kickoff and all that fun stuff, but more specifically, getting into the kicking game, right? Because that was a big hole in this Arizona State roster in 2024. That's not the case now with Jesus Gomez. That's not the feeling around the program. That's not really what we've seen at practice. Jesus Gomez is legit, and Kenny Dillingham had a lot to say about the Arizona State kicker this morning.
Yeah, I would say his growth, to be honest, not much. This kid is dialed. Since the moment he got here, he has been dialed in to be the very best. Nothing really rattles him. He's the hardest critic on himself, and he's very, very consistent. You know, you're not going to wake up and say, "What Jesus am I going to get today?" You know what you're going to get. You're going to get a dude who's going to walk his line. He's going to walk his steps in pre-practice. He's going to have the exact same process over and over again. And I've got the utmost confidence in him. I actually joke around to the team how much confidence I have with him kicking field goals. And another guy who's done a great job is Kiefer. Kiefer's a guy who, you know, he went in there and made kicks late in the season, you know, the championship game and even the Peach Bowl. One of them was blocked, but that wasn't on him. But he made kicks, and he's out to the 50-yard range now, which is testament to his strength and how much he's put in work to become stronger. But he can make them from 50 a little bit further sometimes. So I think that position as a whole has gotten drastically better.
We are
Breath of fresh air, huh?
We're a long way away from the Cincinnati post game.
Yeah.
Right? Where he's sitting there saying he has the utmost confidence and he should. You know, I have an admission to make.
Really?
For the first time since January, 2 nights ago, I watched the Texas-Arizona State highlights.
you?
For the first time.
I still haven't watched the full game.
It makes you feel something. It makes you feel something.
I know.
I once it went to overtime, I stopped watching the video.
See, that's what I have to watch because that's like every time I see that highlight come on, I avert my eyes.
But
I'm just
dude,
like, I can't do it.
When Kiefer came in that game and was hitting kicks, it brought me back to the moment where I was like, oh my God, we got a kicker. We found a kicker. No, I'm so excited just to not have to worry about that.
I need some proof.
Uh-oh.
I need proof.
Oh.
I feel like I need proof here. It says Kenny Dillingham.
Let me look in the back end.
I don't. Yeah.
What can you see in the back end?
You can see their at.
Okay.
Which would
maybe give it away.
Yeah. Let me see. You guys keep going on with the show, please. I'll handle it.
Oh no, he said it's Glenn. Damn.
Okay. Thank goodness.
Dang.
We were close. I mean, technically, still got 60 seconds.
Oh,
Thank
man.
you, Glenn, for you scared me there for a second. You scared me there for.
If there's
for a
any
quick
coach
moment.
in the country that would do it,
it would
be Kenny.
It would be Kenny, 100%. Yeah, I think again when we talk about this team and the improvements all the way around, it starts with the kicking game. This was one of the worst kicking units in all of college football last year. And now you bring in a guy that is like, he's just automatic. At least in practice, he's been automatic.
Yeah. In theory.
In theory.
We'll have to see.
He's dialed, man. He's dialed. Like that's what Dilly said. This guy is absolutely dialed. So to be able to have a guy that you can trust on 4th and 6 to hit a 50-yarder, like that's going to be huge for this program. Now, Dilly did say, I don't know if we have this sound. If not, it'll be in the full presser that we post on YouTube a little bit later on. But talking about like the aggressive approach is not going to change for Arizona State. He said, if you see a 4th, to quote Kenny Dillingham.
Oh, dude, this is my favorite quote.
He was like, if it's 4th and 1, buckle up. Like, you already know. Right? Like, that's what you've seen on the tape. The tape's out there.
The Rhino package is happening. He's not on the team anymore, but they're bringing him back.
Like, this
His
staff,
music hits.
The staff has a philosophy, and they are going to be aggressive. But if there's a situation where, hey, like, we've got a field goal in our back pocket, and it's 4th and whatever, and that's what we want to opt for, like, we feel confident in that, which is something that they didn't have last year.
Well, yeah. It's nice to have that option, but it's also just nice to have the option of your offense is so good, your playbook is so deep, your bag is Mary Poppins sized, where you can pull out a play that you know is going to work on 4th and 2 from your own 35.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have to do that against NAU, thankfully. But like we saw against Iowa State in the Big 12 championship, for example, everyone remembers that 4th and 2.
Yeah.
And when the game was still obviously
close.
I think you were losing at that point. I think it was 7-3.
I think it was so early.
Yeah, it was early in the game.
They were losing that
And
game.
they ran a play action Milquan Stovall leak like
It's like 50, 60 yards, wasn't it?
Yeah, he got down to like the 2-yard line. No, it was like 60, 70, I think. It was like I don't know if my smile had ever been bigger at that moment.
You know what else is going to happen? Is that
we're going to hit overtime?
We've been in overtime.
Done
pretty sure. But Jesus Gomez is going to be so good that when he's out there, everybody's going to assume that he's kicking, and they're going to do something fake with him. Like it's not going to be until really late in the season, but they're going to do a fake with Jesus Gomez.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. In terms of some quick roster things, Ben Coleman will be starting at center for Arizona State. Kenny Dillingham made that official on Saturday. With that said, the Discord knew beforehand.
Yes, of
the
course.
Discord
Do
knew.
we know about the other positions yet or no? For the
we will
line?
probably know tomorrow at practice when we go out there. But Dilly didn't have any updates.
What do you expect?
In terms of running back,
Sam Levitt.
No. Just offensive line.
Offensive line. Oh, it's going to be Coleman, a Big Bow. Your left tackle is going to be Atkins. Your right guard is going to be Kyle Scott. And your right tackle is going to be Ahanichor. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's about what we expected.
Yeah. It's about anytime Ben Coleman is running with the ones, that's usually what it was.
I feel good about that offensive line.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And I think again, this is going to be a good challenge for that group because NAU's strong point is the defensive line. So that'll be fun to watch. In terms of who's starting at running back, Dilly said they have still kind of yet to decide who is going to go out there first, if it's Kyson or Erik. I would imagine you probably see Kyson.
But that doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't.
They're
You're going to see all of the running backs.
They're going to ride the hot hand.
You're not only going to see the 3 that you expect to see. You're probably going to see Jason Brown Jr. You're probably going to see Man if he's healthy. You may see Grayson Rigdon. Like you may see all these guys.
Can we talk about the biggest news in the running back room?
The biggest news in the running back room.
That Erik Brown is now
20
pounds heavier. I mean, he's looked bigger out there. Not maybe 20 pounds bigger. He's a bowling ball, dude. He's ridiculous.
Again, it's never been a question about the talent.
No.
If he can stay on the field, the Big 12 is in trouble.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
100%.
Legitimately. This isn't just
There's
like...
not a linebacker out there that can guard.
This isn't just me and Totri being a mouthpiece.
No.
This isn't just a fanboy
This
podcast.
is me throwing the mouthpiece and just talking normally.
Totri
and then
talks.
say that
Totri
you're
talk.
not a mouthpiece and that you're speaking for your own. You are sticking to the points like
That's
crazy.
what I do, man.
And then he also said, Erik, you have to say, I'm a little pig boy, oink, oink, oink.
No, I'm not. No, that's the thing is, if we didn't have the ability to clip, I would have done that. But that's going to get clipped, so I'm not saying.
Wanigan wants to know what the game 1 fit is. A couple years ago, I did the suit.
Can we shout out your fit today?
Yeah.
The 2-piece?
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, it almost looks like a romper the way I'm sitting right now.
It's a little romper-esque.
I'm showing a lot of leg here today.
Looking good.
These chairs will show off the legs.
They will. I haven't decided what the game
I think
day
full
fit
suit.
is.
It's got to be full suit.
My issue is I'm coming from a fantasy football draft.
Full suit for the fantasy football. I don't see the problem here.
The last year I did the last time I did a full suit was the monsoon game.
Yeah, don't do that. No suits.
Do a tuxedo then.
Oh, I could do the what I wore for the Big 12 championship. That might work.
Cowboy hat?
Oh yeah. Do we have a cowboy hat in here?
The pink one.
Definitely not doing that. Definitely not doing that one at all. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe
it'll be spicy.
Do we want to hit any more of the Kenny clips?
Or do we want to save them all for social media and diehards only?
Should we do the Sam Bow one and call it a day?
We can do the Sam Bow one.
I think that's a good one.
And call it a day.
Yeah.
This is and I think this is how he opened up the press conference today. Is he was asked about Sam and the conversations that they've had kind of in terms of like development with some of the previous quarterbacks that Kenny has obviously worked with, most notably Bo Nix. And this is what Kenny had to say about those conversations.
We actually talked about it yesterday. We talked about, Bo's, the difference in his completion percentage from his transition from Auburn to Oregon and the amount of sacks he took. And like I told him yesterday, because Sam wants to be perfect all the time. He wants to be the best. So we were talking about it. I'm like, he took 5 sacks that year, his first year at Oregon. He did this, he did that. And I'm like, but he's not you. We don't run the same stuff. Don't chase that. Play your game. And I think his game will naturally elevate this year because of the work he's put in. But I don't want him to think about those things. I just want him to go play his game because he's a phenomenal football player. So that type of prep is kind of the haze in the barn there. So it's time to see if all the work he's put in, what that shows. And I have a lot of confidence in him.
Sam Leavitt, man. There's a big opportunity for him to be the next on the list of quarterbacks and to see what Bo has gone on and done and hear what Kenny said about Sam.
But this is what we always talked about with how Kenny coaches. Like, he recognizes that people don't respond the same to styles. Yeah. And he, the thing that stuck out to me in that clip is him talking about how he doesn't want to hear any of those comparisons because Bo Nix is Bo Nix, Sam Leavitt is Sam Leavitt. Like, they are different people. Doesn't matter about the statistics. They are in different situations. That Oregon offense this offense is great. That Oregon offense with that line he was protected by, way different.
Oh yeah.
So there are no comparisons, and Kenny realizes that always, which is something I always applaud him for.
Look, this team is gonna be special. Sam Leavitt is going to be special, and there's a big opportunity on Saturday against NAU to set a tone for the 2025 season. I feel like we did a good job setting a tone for game week, of course.
Kenny just texted Erik and said, you guys did a good job.
We're good.
No, he said Erik.
He said little pig boy oink oink did okay.
He did a good job.
Look, Tuesday, Wednesday, we will be live. Wednesday, we're going to have a very special guest on the show. So definitely.
Discord will know.
Discord will know first. Definitely.
It's Glenn pretending to be Kenny Dillingham.
They'll know tonight.
Okay, let's do it. Let's have a hell of a week. No show on Thursday, but we will be back on Friday. And then, of course, I expect all of you and all your friends to be here for the first Arizona State post game of the 2025 season. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we made it to game week. That's going to do it for today's episode of the PHNX Sun Devil Show. Yes.
If you want to know who the guest is tonight, join the Discord.
Hop in.
Become a diehard, $36.
Literally $36. You are
for
robbing
the entire year.
You're stealing money from us. Okay? Join the Discord. Hit the like button and the subscribe button on your way out. If you enjoyed today's content, give the show a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow Little Pig Boy here at Erik Ruby. That is Erik with a K. You can follow the Deli Man at Shane Deef.
Ready for game week, game day, game season, football, pigskin time. As always.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, go Devils. And peace.
We all silly like the mayor.